Good evening, hello, and welcome back once again to In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. And it is Friday night. It might be Monday night. We're doing it all the time at the moment, but no, I'm pretty sure it's a big Friday night ahead of a cracking weekend of action over at Newbury and Warwick. And welcome to all our viewers at home. You're in the right place for all the previews and hopefully some winning tips ahead of the big races tomorrow. And of course, it is, in theory, one of the biggest handicaps of the season, but with one of the smallest fields in recent years in the shape of the Betfair hurdle. Just 14 of them line up for the race tomorrow afternoon. Over at Newbury as well, it could well be a big day for trainer Paul Nicholls, who's been struggling throughout 2022, has had a few days off, but he could well have a Denman chase in the bag, and he would hope so too, given who that race is named after. And of course, he's got Brave Man's Game running off a big weight in a handicap and a few other chances as well. We'll be over to Warwick for some Arkle clues in the Kingmaker, of course, and we've got the Game Spirit also at Newbury for some champion chase clues potentially. A few bits and bobs elsewhere. Interesting novice hurdle, a listed bumper as well that's thrown up some good winners over the past few seasons, and hopefully, like I said, profit in the bank. Although we'll do well to top last week's profit and loss as we were knocking in winners left, right and centre. Will we continue that run of form, or will it be the old phrase of regression to the mean? Well, we will see as they go on, but it's a live show, of course, tonight, so please do get in touch. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. If you want to get involved on that chat, we should have time to read out your tips and views. If you're tipping something, give us a nice one-line reasoning and we'll get that read out on the show. And don't forget as well to like the stream and also subscribe. Please do subscribe to the Racing Post channel, and it does help to make more of these kind of shows. So if you like it, subscribe. If you don't, log into someone else's account and subscribe for them. My name is Ross Brierley. I'll be leading this show for the next hour or so, again in the company of some fine gentlemen indeed. You can see one of their hands just edging into shot there. Look at that. He's absolutely chomping at the bit. Thrilled to get on with things. It is the one and only Mr. Graeme Rodway.
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, it was like a wave to all the viewers, wasn't it?
Yeah, we need to get like a smoke machine to have like a stars in their eyes kind of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
No, I found this really nice pen on the desk, and I thought, oh, I'll steal that. But obviously, I got caught by the camera trying to do it.
You did, and now you admitted it anyway. So it's all gone terribly wrong.
Take it off me, isn't it, on my way out?
Yeah, it has. We haven't been in here for this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is my first one. Obviously, Keely's not had any time off this year, has he?
No. He goes in fits and bursts, but he's off writing a book. Memoirs?
Yeah, I don't think that they would be much of a read. Do you?
I think they'd be a cracking
Do you?
read.
You think they'd be fantastic? Yeah, Cheltenham book, of course. Cheltenham around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Only 4, 5, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that.
I've completely lost track, if I'm honest with you.
It's in that range.
It's not far away, is it?
Yeah.
And possible clues tomorrow, of course.
Yeah, Super Saturday they call it.
Yeah.
Would you say it's super?
I'll tell you, depending on how many winners are back.
Okay.
That's my judgment for that. So is it a Super Saturday or not? Do I make a profit? Cold-blooded? Maybe. I don't know. But let's hope we have some exciting races, that's for sure. Graeme's in the studio to my left and at home where he loves to be in the company of Tom Segal, who, like I said, we spoke to you on Monday. We spoke to you last Friday. You were knocking in winners left, right and centre. You were grilling Paul Townend for potential Supreme Novice winners and so on and so forth. Tom, I'm seeing you more than my own family at the moment.
I was going to say that. I said, those check shirts of yours, Ross, are going down. I'm getting a bit, blinded by them. They're lovely and all that, but I think I've seen enough of them for the time being.
Yeah, I am running out of options. It's getting to the point now. I'm having to do washing at least once a week, which is terrible.
That's no fun, is it?
No. What do you reckon about tomorrow, Tom? Obviously, most of the headlines around small fields and fairly uncompetitive races, in theory.
Yeah, small fields. Yeah, they're not really my cup of tea, but there's some loads of good horses running, aren't there? I'm really looking forward to the Kingmaker. I think at Warwick, that's the most exciting race of the day for me, seeing Edward Stone and third time Lucky Bang heads. That'll be fun. And obviously, great stuff at Newbury as well. I love the Betfair hurdle. I always have. This isn't the best one. I think we all know that, but still going to take some finding the winner. And I'm hoping, I won't reveal yet, but I'm hoping I might have found a nice price one.
Okay, there we go. That's a lovely little tease for the rest of the show. Graeme, Rodway and Tom Segal providing the winners, hopefully, and providing the possibly cursed tips, given his reputation on this show, which I think is a bit harsh. But we haven't seen him in a while, not since the end of the flat season, I don't think. So a warm welcome to you, Mr. David Stevens.
Good evening, gents. Yes, definitely the first appearance of 2022. So happy New Year to everyone. Rodders, we'll get you a coral pen in the post. You don't need to be nicking pens off the desk there. And I genuinely fell for that. I thought Kills was away writing his memoirs. And I certainly would be buying a copy of that. So I'm sure it would have an adult theme to it if Kills was writing his memoirs. But of course, it is just the Cheltenham book. So I agree with Tom. I think the Kingmaker is fantastic. We complain about these good horses not taking each other on outside of the festival. Well, the first 3 British-trained Arkle contenders running that Kingmaker, that's a cracker. And look, only 14 in the Betfair hurdle, but loads of unexposed novices. And I think there's bags of winners will come out of this race. I think it's no less compelling for the fact there's only 14 in it.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, in theory, David, they are small fields, but there's not. The Denman Chase has an interesting cross of form lines, as does the Game Spirit. Like I said, you've got the Kingmaker with 3 genuinely exciting novice chasers, and I'm not looking at the Betfair hurdle thinking, oh, this is easy.
No, I mean absolutely not. And you can understand if you are connections of a more exposed 2-mile hurdler, you can see why you haven't wanted to take all these young novices that are in the could be anything bracket. So yeah, there's a lot of angst and discussion about small fields, but the one thing that's perhaps been overlooked this season, of course, is I can't remember any abandonments. We haven't lost meetings to frost or snow or waterlogging, whatever. So the trainers haven't been sort of looking for opportunities that have perhaps gone missing. So the good horses are running. I think it's been a terrific jump season. And I say that as someone that is predominantly a flat racing fan. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it is a super Saturday tomorrow. And of course, you're right. I've not backed a loser yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, you're right about the abandonments. Just before we get to that, I was crunching some numbers. The 2-mile hurdlers, I mean, we look at the Betfair hurdle, people thinking this, that, the season's broken or whatever it is about the national season. 2-mile hurdlers, whether it's Class 1 kind of non-graded race, graded races, non-handicaps, or Class 2 and Class 3 handicaps, which are probably your level of what could usually run in this. They've had 21 opportunities between January the 1st and now. That is the most for 20 years. Pretty much. The average over the last 10 years is about 16.5. So in theory, you've had 5 extra races on average this season that 2-mile hurdlers can run in. So of course there's not a maximum field.
Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah, well, did you knock that out while you were there?
Yeah, that was it. While David was saying, I'm not that quick.
No, you almost lost me halfway through it, but then I did pick up on what you were saying. But
here we go. I'll say it a bit. The average number of races that 2-mile hurdlers who are good enough to run in the Betfair hurdle could have run in the past 6 weeks
more.
Is 16.2 over the last 10 years, whereas this year they've had 21. Whether that's listed juvenile races, the opens to 4-year-olds, of course, or your contenders hurdles kind of thing. There's been loads of Class 3 hurdles as well, and this year horses in the low 120s are getting in. So there's just too many. There are too many options, and that's partly because none of them have been abandoned.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, although it's great to see Steve-O coming up with that stat, and this week, of course, the temperatures are meant to drop to very, very low. So let's hope that we don't get any abandonments in the next week or so.
So you're saying the whole of next week could be abandoned to make up for it?
Just after David Stevens has said there's been none, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise, would it?
Yeah, there we go. But do you control the weather as well as the prices, David?
It's slightly harsh. I'm now getting blamed for being the bock on the weather as well. All I said, stop reading the Daily Star, Rodders, for your weather news, and then just look at what's going on outside the window. It tends to be more reliable.
Right, well, we'll crack on with the races in a second, but just a reminder that we do have an offer on the Racing Post Members Club at the moment, and £15 per month for the first 3 months if you use the link in the video description. Of course, you'll get Tom's tips before, he knows what he's put in as well, and various other gubbins, replays, exclusive access to various things. So get involved in that, £15 for the first 3 months. Let's get into the weekend's racing there, with Newbury taking centre stage, but let's go over to Warwick first for one of the most interesting races of the day. It is the Kingmaker Novices Chase over the 2 miles, and we have 4 very talented horses lining up. Headed by Edward Stone, who's even money favourite. Third time lucky is 13-8. Brave Shashka is 11-2, and For Pleasure who of course ran a blinder in the Supreme Novices last season, is 25-1. Going to come to you first, Tom, for this, because you've been getting excited about the 2 mile novice chase division this season. Obviously, we've lost a potential superstar in the shape of Fernie Hollow, so it's been blown wide open. And Edwardstone and Third Time Lucky meet again with the added complication of the practically unbeatable Venetia Williams and Brave Sheshka.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've been getting overly excited about the 2 mile novice chases, but I do enjoy them. And I think it's the point is, I thought that the Irish Arkle on, when was it, Sunday last week, wasn't very good. I wasn't that impressed with Blue Lord or Riviere de Tel or St Sam. And I think we might win this race, the Brits. I think this might be one of the Grade 1s at Cheltenham that we bring home. And I think these two here, Edwardstone and Third Time Lucky, are really top class horses. If you look back to the County Hurdle last year, where they both, I think they were 5th or 4th and 5th. Edwardstone finished in front of Third Time Lucky, but if you watch the race, I mean, Third Time Lucky went through it like the wrath of God. He was miles better than Edwardstone. I think round Warwick, I would fancy Third Time Lucky to beat Edwardstone tomorrow. I think that the key to him is a real strong pace. He's going to get it because both For Pleasure and Brave Siaska go very hard. I think that will suit Third Time Lucky. I think he might beat Edwardstone tomorrow because he ran a super time at Doncaster the other week, and I think he might just be in better form than Edwardstone now. He's had a break to get him ready for Cheltenham, but it might be reversed round Cheltenham, where the stiffer track might play to Edwardstone's in Edwardstone's favour up the straight. I think he might get past him. But tomorrow, I'm a big Third Time Lucky fan. I think he's really good. He's really classy. He's really fast, and if he jumps as well as he did the other day, I think he'll win.
Okay, Third Time Lucky then, 13-8. You've put him up anti-post for the Arkle as well. So I mean, he's going to have to be winning this, isn't he? If he's going to go on and get involved in that, or at least go down.
Yeah, he's got to run
fighting.
well, hasn't he? I mean, he's got to run well. I mean, Edwardstone's favourite, isn't he? So if he gives Edwardstone a race, and it's only one jump, isn't it, at Cheltenham? He could easily turn that around, but he's got to run well for sure. He can't be tailed off. I wouldn't be fancy then.
Okay, Third Time Lucky then for Tom here for the Kingmaker. Over to you, Graeme Rodway.
Yeah, after Sandown, I thought my prediction of Third Time Lucky going off favourite for the Grand Annual might come true, but he was so good at Doncaster last time. They've definitely got to go for the Arkle now, haven't they? He was wildly impressive.
Especially now Fernie Hollow's.
Yeah, of course, now that Fernie, and as Tom says, I don't think those Irish pair, they're not superstars anyway. No. They're certainly not unbeatable. We could win the first 2 races, looking at Henderson in the first as well, with Constitution here at Cheltenham anyway. But I agree with Tom. I think that...
Don't sound so surprised, Rodders.
Well, I think they're going to ride the race differently here, Tom. What do you think? I mean, that race at Sandown, Third Time Lucky, he went nuts, didn't he, from the front, Harry Skelton. He finished very, very tired that day. I don't think that... he was at his best because he was just absolutely knackered up the running. I think that obviously he got Brave Siaska and For Pleasure. For Pleasure's an absolute tearaway, isn't he, front runner? Well, obviously in the race that Third Time Lucky won, came down at last. Third Time Lucky was travelling over him. I think that it's going to be a completely different race. The race Edwardstone won at Sandown. That day Third Time Lucky went nuts in front. This time I think Third Time Lucky might even sit last. I think that Harry Skelton might have him in last and try and do what Edwardstone did to him at Sandown, and try and do him late. And I think he might do it. So okay. Third Time Lucky for me.
Third Time Lucky. 2 votes for Third Time Lucky then. We haven't mentioned Brave Sheshka, but I'm bordering on. I mean, we'll see in about 50 minutes whether I change my mind. But I'm bordering on napping this horse tomorrow. I really like this Venetia Williams trained horse. Doesn't have to lead. Won over hurdles and a couple of starts ago over fences when taking the lead off a strong pace. I think the last couple of times, I think Gavin Sheehan and Charlie Deutsch have just gone, well, I think we're the best horse in this race, so we're going to go and dominate it. But the speed figure last time out was fantastic at this track, and it didn't really seem to go through all the gears. Lon Presse, of course, the other day, that one started off in handicaps as well. And I mean, an RPR 150 the other day, barely breaking a sweat. Tom, part of me thinks that the front 2 in the market here are going to be thinking, I've got to beat you and you've got to beat me, and this one could be gone.
Oh, well, good luck with that project, Ross. I just think you're talking about the 2 best 2 mile chasers in the country, bar Shishkin. I don't think they're. I think that Nuba Negra's probably in there, but I think these 2 are really, really good, and I think Brave Siaska's got to take a big step up. I think he might do. It's Warwick. He likes Warwick. Venetia can't do anything wrong, but he beats third time lucky in Edwardstone, then I'd be very surprised.
Okay, very well. We've got a social comment at home from Toothpick Charlie, who says Edwardstone hasn't beaten much. A massive lay. There we go. Well, yeah, I guess I'm trying to think. He's beaten third time lucky, obviously. So if he hasn't beaten much, he has beaten what he's got to beat tomorrow. But I kind of see what you mean, to an extent. But fair enough. David Stevens, come on in, join in, get it. The water's warm. What have you got to say?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say exactly the same as you. If he hasn't beaten much, but he's beaten third time lucky, who's his biggest rival here according to the market. So I don't think it's a 2-horse race. I think Brave Siaska, I've been calling it all week. So you've put me correct there on the pronunciation of that one. That said, I mean, look, the Grade 1 winning Edwardstone has beaten third time lucky before. I think it's interesting that the Scoutons are keen to take on Edwardstone again. Obviously, went to Doncaster and strolled home that day in that really good time. It's a brilliant race to watch. I genuinely do. As I said at the start, when we criticise Connections for not taking each other on before Cheltenham, we can't accuse them of this. For me, I'm afraid it's a terrible thing for a bookmaker to say, but it's almost a no-bet race. It's one to watch and enjoy. And Tom, you think that the English could win, or the British could win the Arkle? Rodders, you think perhaps likewise. So we do have our first enhanced special of the night on this Kingmaker. And it's the winner of this Kingmaker to go on and win the Sporting Life Arkle at the festival. Was 5-2, is now 3-1. So, yeah, could be a good start for the Brits with the Supreme and the Arkle. And as I say, the winner of this to go on to win at Cheltenham is a 3-1 shot.
Lovely stuff.
As price boosts go, Dave, I think that's a moderate one, if truth be told. 3-1 to win this and the Arkle.
Moderate. That's high praise from you, Tom.
give the boys something. Gee.
Well, we've got other races to talk about, guys, so let's crack on. But Tom Rodders, you think third time lucky's going to win. I'll go for Brave Shashka. David Stevens is a no-bet man for this opener. And our viewers pretty much have tipped up everything. I don't think anyone fancies Full Pleasure, but pretty much it's fairly equally split between a lot of them. So, cracking race at Warwick tomorrow. The Kingmaker Edwardstone is narrow odds on at 10-11. Get involved in that price boost if you're not Tom Segal. Over to Newbury for the first race we're going to look at there. Then over an extended 2 miles and 7.5 furlongs here. A novices handicap chasing a fascinating runner in the shape of Brave Man's Game at 4-5. Pat's Fancy 4-1. Grumpy Charlie at 5-1. Fernhill is 10s. Galley Hill is 16s. And IK Brunel is 20-1. Another thing that people have criticised trainers in the National Hunt sphere for is not running enough top-class horses in handicaps, Rodders. So fair play to Paul Nicholls, who admittedly is less scared than most. Your Frodons and your Denmans and even your Alpha Roths back in the day as well. He's certainly not averse to it. And Brave Man's Game here off a mark of 159.
Nicholls is going to be having a panic attack if this doesn't win, because this is a Grade 1 horse running against handicappers, isn't it? I mean, he should absolutely bolt up, really, if he's anywhere near his best, and he jumps well. I'm chief of the Brave Man's Game fan club, as you know, Ross. I think he could be real top class. I think he win. The only reason to doubt him, of course, is the Nicholls.
Yeah.
Well, hoodoo.
Well, I mean,
one winner, isn't it, in the last 2 weeks now?
Yeah, and that was Dolos, who's a law unto himself, isn't he? But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's probably his worst start to the season in, well, possibly since he became a genuinely top class trainer. But so far this season, we've had Alan Kings running deplorably, and then he's come back with a bang. Nicky Henderson running deplorably, and he had 5 winners in a day. So it could go either way. Yeah,
I think the worrying thing is that he's actually talking about himself, isn't he? Usually Nicholls would say, oh, well, we done the flu jabs and all this, and we're always a bit quiet this time. But he's actually started to say, well, this is a bit more than that. We're a little bit concerned. And that is, I suppose, the worrying thing. But I probably want to hear from Tom, because I know that he's taking this also on, isn't he, Brave Man's Game?
Well, let's find out. Tom Segal, take him. It's a Brave Man's Game to take on Brave Man's Game, Tom Segal.
Not at 4-5, I don't think. We're giving the Nicholls form, giving up to £16 to everything. £19 to most. I think he's got a harder task than he's probably had this season, if truth be told, at the weights. And given we know this is a trial for Cheltenham for him. He's not going to be 100%. Got the stable form, you got the price. For me, I want to take him on at the prices. Not that keen on Pat's Fancy myself. All his wins have come at Chepstow and Fosslas. I think that says something about the type of horse he is. I mean, Chepstow and this is going to be decent ground at Newbury against better horses. I think he's probably a slower type horse. I know the form of his Chepstow win last time worked out, but Imperial Alcazar simply didn't stay 3 miles that day. So I'm quite keen to take it. I like the old Grumpy Charlie. What a good name he is. I'm a bit grumpy, but
I was going to say, is this just through empathy for the name?
Exactly. But I thought he was wildly impressive at the track last time. That was was it his chase debut? It was his chase debut last time. He's a point-to-point winner for Chris Honor, but he cantered through the race, jumped really well and went well clear of Fern Hill. People are going to say the ground is an issue for him. He won his point-to-point on good ground. It wasn't that bad here last time. I really liked him. He ran in the Supreme last year, and he was 25-1 to win the Supreme against Appreciate It and his pals. He's a good horse. He's got Brian Carver back on, taking £3 off. So he would be my number one choice for sure. I think he can at least serve it up to Brave Man's Game, who is if he's at 90%, you won't beat him. I'm sure of that. The other one I quite like is old Nicky Henderson's in here at a massive price, Galley Hill. This horse he's still kept him in the Turners and the, I can't remember, it used to be the RSA. What's it called now?
Brown Advisory.
Yeah, he's kept him in that. He was due to run in the Dipper, a Grade 2 race at Cheltenham over Christmas, but was pulled out because the ground was too soft. Last time, the first time after a wind-up was last time. He was brought down at the first. He ran in the Grade 1 at Aintree last year. He didn't run very well, but he'd had a problem. That, it just shows you how highly Henderson rates him. He's 16-1 there, I see. I just thought if Brave Man's Game doesn't perform, there's good horses here at big prices. And I thought Grumpy Charlie would be my number one, but I'll throw a few quid at Galley Hill as well because, he's had a lot of horses run below par, Paul Nicholls, and if this one does the same, he can get beat. Or he will get beat.
Yeah, okay. Brave Man's Game 4-5 then, but Grumpy Charlie's a 5-1 shot. Galley Hill 16s. Yeah, I backed Galley Hill at Aintree in that Grade 1. I thought he was potentially an improver, and and also backed Grumpy Charlie in the Supreme last year because I thought this might cut up. He might sneak on into third and so I've got old form with those, but I thought Fern Hill was a little bit interesting. Obviously, Grumpy Charlie has the beating of him, but Ben Case's horse is in fantastic form, and he wasn't far behind third time lucky last year over hurdles. He could have more to offer. So plenty of horses potential. You could give the favourite a race here, David.
Yeah, and again, just to echo, fair play to Connections, particularly, a trainer that by his own admission is not sure why he's out of form at the moment. They could have easily avoided this with Brave Man's Game. He's second favourite, obviously, for the Brown Advisory. But they're coming here off a big weight. And I suppose you've got to factor in, do you want to be back in the Paul Nicholls runners at the moment? The one thing's for certain, they are going to come back to form at some point, but do you want to see them hit a bit of form first before you take the odds on? Unlike Tom, I did like Pat's fancy here. Chepstow, again, in theme of this winter, it hasn't been the sort of bottomless heavy Chepstow that you perhaps normally expect there, and the form of his last win has worked out okay. So if you're going to take on the odds-on favourite, which I will do with Pat's fancy, I'm not going to be quite as dismissive of it as Tom. But do we fancy the Paul Nicholls runners? He's got 6 fancied ones, well, all sort of fairly prominent in the betting at Newbury tomorrow. And I said to the traders, look, can we get something on Paul to train 2 or more winners? And they came back and said, no, that will be too short. So they think Paul Nicholls is going to be amongst the winners. So it's Paul Nicholls to train 3 or more winners at Newbury tomorrow. This will get Segal's blood boiling. It's 3 or more. We were 2-1. We're now 5-2 about that. So the traders think that Paul Nicholls is going to bounce back to form with a vengeance tomorrow. Tom?
Well, it's better than the last one. I mean, third time lucky 6-1 to win the Arkle. Why would I back him at 3-1 to win a Warwick and the Arkle?
I think the worrying thing about the last one...
Because he might not win the race tomorrow at Warwick.
Well,
but then you've lost anyway.
The worrying thing about the last one is that Edward Stone could get beat tomorrow by third time lucky and then win the Arkle.
Yeah.
And you would lose, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Can we not have one where we get like the winner to have run in that race? That'd be too short, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you've bamboozled me left, right, and centre here. So I'm
It's
trying
only like what you did to us.
Yeah. Look, I spent all my executive function on working out those stats. Now I've gone to mushy peas. I've completely lost it. So 5-2 up from 2-1. Then Paul Nicholls to trade 3-1 winners at Newbury on Saturday. I think David's just going to be winding Tom up throughout the evening here. So we'll see how it goes. But it's Pat's fancy for David. It's Grumpy Charlie for Grumpy Segal. With potentially Galley Hill as well. Rodders?
Yeah, well, I wonder if we might get lucky in that everyone goes, oh, Nichols are not running that well, and then Brave Man's Game might drift to a good price. Yeah. I think he'll win.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fair enough. And I will go for Fern Hill to run a big race with Ben Case, but probably get done on the run-in, as that seems to be the horse's strategy so far. 1:15 at Newbury, then over to the next race. We've got a handicap hurdle here at Newbury over 3 miles, and the Brimming Water is 7-2 favourite for this 150. Polish is 4-1, Sussex Ranger 9-2, What's Up With You 6-1, Risk and Roll 6-1, Coeur de Leon is 13-2, and the Big Breakaway at 9-1. Scandyberg is a non-runner. I've got to come to you, David, here first. You're a Sussex Ranger, you're not? And there's been quite a lot. I'm sure this horse was outsider of the field this morning. Oh, unless I know what's happened here. We're going to go to Tom in a second, and he's going to say he's putting it up. But tell us about the market, David.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sussex Ranger obviously has shortened up there. I mean, there's question marks about most of these, actually. I was looking down which one I'd come down in favour of, and we're calling it Polish, are we? Not Polish. Obviously, last year's winner is showing signs of perhaps he's been running better than his current finishing position or his most recent finishing show. And I thought perhaps Polish for Fergal O'Brien, who's been in formal season. But yeah, question marks about all of these. I thought this was a horrible race, which means it'd be right up Tom's street.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of that. I think we should just crack off with it. No, it doesn't work. But Tom, Sussex Ranger has been quite well backed. Do you have anything to do with this?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm once again on the worst value horse at what was the big price about 2 hours ago. It's now 9-2. Yeah, I like that horse. I think he's got a very, very solid chance. I thought I'd sort of done an Eve Muirhead and curled one of those curling stones in. Have you been watching that? You've been watching that. I like that curling the Winter Olympics. It's really good. And I thought I'd curled one in without anyone noticing, but no, sure enough, it's now 4-1 or 9-2. And, might be favourite in a minute. I thought that had a really good chance. Loves Newbury. Last time it ran over fences at Newbury, it won by 11 lengths, beating a horse of Paul Nicholls'. It's down to its lowest ever handicap mark, and it ran pretty well at Ascot. Doesn't really like going right-handed, I don't think. Ground was very soft at Ascot last time, and he sort of made mistakes, got behind, and then sort of rallied strongly to get in contention, turning for home before weakening out of it. This is a big day for Gary Moore. Always is. These big Saturday handicaps. My guess is that this has been sort of, he's sort of been aiming at a good few horses at this meeting for some time now. The Sussex Ranger down the bottom there loves Newbury, likes good ground, stays strongly, and is off his lowest handicap mark. So he was my one for the day, really. I was hoping I'd get a double figure price, 9-2. It's probably about right.
Okay, yeah, Sussex Ranger then, who, I remember backing this horse. I think he might have been, when he was a juvenile hurdler, he was putting in some cracking speed figures, and just looking back, there was off marks in the 130, so 1-2-1 tomorrow looks very lenient, doesn't it, for Gary Moore? And Tom, just to quickly come back, when we were talking about, big day for Paul Nicholls and all that, but there are some trainers, there's your Gary Moores, your Dan Skelton, Colin Tizard, Fergal O'Brien. There are some trainers with 6 or 7 genuine chances tomorrow, and it might well be, if Paul Nicholls' horses aren't up to scratch, he's going to come up against other trainers who've been ready and raring to go for this.
Yeah, well, that's, the Betfair Hurdle's richest 2 mile handicap in Europe, isn't it? So someone like Gary Moore is going to, he's going to have that race in his mind, as we've seen many times in the past since Christmas. He'll be aiming horses at races, and then, it'll be a big one for the owners, it'll be a big one for the yard. He's got loads of runners on the card. I saw Editor de Geet unfortunately came out, because that was, I think, a big fancy for him on the card as well. But that will be what they're doing. And I think Sussex Ranger will be primed for this. He ran perfectly well over fences last time. Well handicapped, and I think he'll probably win.
Okay, then Sussex Ranger, they're 9-2. Strong words from Tom Segal. Graeme Rodway, do you have as a strong an opinion in this contest?
Not really, no. But I did think the Brimming Water was the most likely winner. Sam Drinkwater trains the Brimming Water. So,
He does, yeah.
yeah,
Mind blowing, isn't it?
Quite interesting, yeah. Anyway, this horse, when he won...
You have been looking after the kids today, haven't you?
When he won the race at Wetherby, he caught an unexpected party, didn't he? Unexpected party probably went too soon, and then he outstayed him towards the finish. I think that he shaped like a real stayer. The brimming water. The problem was he didn't look like he stayed last time. I think it was at Haydock. He came there, looked like he was going to win, and he didn't stay. But they slapped the tongue strap on. So.
Yeah. I mean, soft ground at Haydock and
it's a long way home
very
there.
different.
Yeah, you're half thinking maybe the jockey came home and said, made a noise or something like that. They stuck the tongue tie on. I think he shaped like he would stay at Wetherby, and the unexpected party form is obviously good because that bowled up at Ascot. So he's the one for me, but he's not one of my stronger fancies today.
Okay, very well. Yeah, the Brimming Water is currently a 7-2 shot. Obviously, we've got the Big Breakaway returning to the track as well. Quite a few Big Breakaway fans on the chat. Music Mike, Sam Caney, Off-World, Tom Leach, all looking forward to seeing him back. Although Simon said earlier in the week that it might well just be a pipe opener for him. Max Megaways going for Polish or Hot Polish, as is Hugh Masson. And Tom Leach is with Sussex Ranger as well. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the one that I thought had a chance, and that's What's Up With You for Ben Pauling and David Bass, who was getting very well handicapped. Fourth off our mark of 136 to Galopin de Champs at Cheltenham last season. I think these conditions will be absolutely spot on, a much easier race than that Dolphin Square contest. So that's half the field for you. But Tom, just reiterate your pick.
Yeah, I'm on Sussex Ranger, and I hope that Sam Drinkwater's a bit better than Danny Drinkwater, who will be playing for Reading tomorrow in their attempt to win a game for the first time in about 2 years.
There we go. An unexpected link that was. Graeme Rodway?
Yeah, I'm with the Brimming Water for Sam Drinkwater.
There we go. I'll go with What's Up With You and David.
Just an update on the Tizzards. Yeah, the Big Breakaway. Obviously, Joe Tizzard speaking in his blog for us today. The Coral Trophy, the old Racing Post Chase at Kempton at the end of the month, is the target. But Joe's hopeful that the way the horses are running, they had a double at Kempton today, that Big Breakaway wouldn't be without a chance here in an open race. So, yeah, if you're a fan of the Big Breakaway, wouldn't put you off this one tomorrow. But I would have a very small bet on Polish or Polish. And I'm still just getting over Graham's absolute incredulity that Samuel Drinkwater could possibly train a horse called the Brimming Water.
Well, wonders never cease, I'll tell you. Anyway.
All I can hear is water.
Yeah, that's it.
There's running water in the studio somewhere in the background, isn't there?
Are you okay, Graeme? If you smell toast, please let us know, won't you? Okay, let's crack on, shall we? To the next race at Newbury. Talking of the Tizzard team being in fantastic form, which they were today with 2 winners and a second, they've got a bit of a chance here in the Denman Chase, of course, which is a Grade 2 contest over just shy of 3 miles. And let's be honest, we've got a small field, but 5 genuinely talented horses, some of them in varying different degrees of form, and some of them with question marks over trip and well-being to answer, but still a good lineup. And Clanders Oboe is 11-10 favourite here. Royal Pagaille is 9-4. Imperial Aura 5-1. Eldorado Allen, who represents the Tizzard team, is 8-1, and Darasha Counter is 22-1, who of course won the Ladbrokes Trophy here back in 2019. But it's Clanders Oboe, 11-10 favourite, a 10-year-old for the Paul Nicholls team, as we'd already mentioned. He was chinned by a stablemate in this last year. I mean, he's a rock-solid proposition. He never runs a bad race, but again, it's just whether you want to back him at 11-10.
Yeah, it's a sort of race, isn't it? A small field, flat track. He does well in those races, doesn't he? I of the Nicholls horses, I think he could be the one that gets beat. Royal Pagaille, last time out, looked really good, didn't he? Mm-hmm. But does he really need heavy ground? Possibly. Yeah,
I mean, so far, yeah, he's yet to win outside of anything other than soft or heavy, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's going to be a different test for him tomorrow, isn't it?
I'm going to take a chance on Eldorado Allen for Tizzy. I think that his horses always improve when they go up in trip. Now, I don't have any wild statistics to back that up, but I could probably try and find some. Not right now though, not like you, Ross.
I did have.
Did you?
I crunched them the other day and then forgot to bring them in. But
it just seems to stick in my mind that I've seen a lot of these horses go from 2 miles to 3 miles and suddenly improve out of all recognition.
I mean, Killer Kane today was one of those. The first time up to 3 miles, bolted up.
Perfect, yeah. Great timing. So yeah, I just think that if there was always do you remember what's the horse that finished second to Duvan every time, then won the Gold Cup? Sizing John, yeah, of course. Yeah, he finished like second to Duvan 4 times, and then he stepped him up and tripped. Eldorado Allen finished second to Shishkin a couple of times last year. Now I'm not saying he's going to go on and be the next Sizing John, but I think that there's potential there for him to improve for a step up in trip, and if he does, it's the sort of race he could win, isn't it? Clandazobo worried about the stable form, and he runs well a lot, Clandazobo, but he's not. He doesn't win, does he? Royal Pagano might want softer ground. Yeah, Eldorado Ellen.
I've found the list again. Native River, Thistlecrack, Lost in Translation, Fiddler on the Roof, and Copperhead all either won or ran a significantly improved race on their first try over 3 miles. And I had a look at the stats for horses stepping up in trip as well. And Menora finished third. In fact, you write them down and you forget to read them out. Where are we? Nolan won this on his first crack at 3 miles, beating What a Friend. Menora finished third. And Farmer Jack also won this on his first start up in trip. So 6 horses have run up in trip for the first time in this race. 2 have won and 1 have placed. So Eldorado Allen has a chance, Tom.
Yeah, of course he's got a chance. I mean, it's wide open, isn't it? Because there's reasons to take on everything. Imperial Aura is a big favourite of mine. His form when he beat Galvin at the Cheltenham Festival, I think, is outstanding. And what here, I think he'd win if he was back to that level of form. But he's not really. He didn't show anything last time, did he? And then he obviously fell when seemingly going quite well in the Betfair chase. Kim Bailey's horses are seeming to be running a bit better again, so wouldn't rule it past him. Royal Pagano is a horse I love. I think if it got soft at Cheltenham, he's sort of an outsider that I would give a shot in the Gold Cup. I don't think it'll be too bad here. I think he might win Royal Pagano this, just simply because I don't think the ground will be very quick. I think it'll be on the soft side anyway. Clandazobo, I'm with Graeme here. He just doesn't win enough races for me. I know he's won a couple of King Georges in a Punchestown race, and but he loses lots of races when you think he's going to win. And last year was one of those at this track. He couldn't beat Secret Investor, and I think Royal Pagano, Imperial Aura, and Eldorado Allen are better than Secret Investor. 11 to 10 with the Nichols form, it's just not for me. He's just not for me. I just wouldn't be backing any of those horses at those prices. Just not what I do anyway. So I'm with Royal Pagano. I think the ground will be fine. I think he'll like Newbury. There's no reason why he wouldn't. It's flat track, like Haydock. Don't think the ground will be too bad, and I think he's top class. So he'll be for me because of the doubts about Imperial Aura.
Okay, very well. Yeah, I mean, he's won at Kempton and Haydock, hasn't he, Royal Pagano? So Newbury should be right up his street as well. Direct Counter, of course, a fascinating horse returning back to track to add a little bit of spice into it as well, David. So again, another small field, but another potentially fascinating lineup here.
Yeah, another small field, but utterly compelling. As I say, a dual King George winner who's now odds against. He was odds on earlier in the week. And of course, there's this subplot that's going to be running through this day of the Paul Nicholls form. Of course, Brave Man's Game could have won by the time this race comes around, and Clandazobo could be back. But that defeat in this race last year, it's hard to get that out of the mind, as you say, to a horse that there's better opposition against him this time around. So Royal Pagano, I mean, his victory last time at Haydock, I thought was one of the performances of the season. Again, I love to see classy horses carrying big weights, and he was brilliant. And again, totally agree with Tom. If it comes up soft in the Gold Cup, he's definitely got a squeak. But in terms of today, I'm going to stick with the team Tizard and stick with Rodders on this Eldorado Allen. As I say, the team in good form now. It got 2.5 miles last time. Joe is as confident as they can be that he'll have no problem getting 3 miles on this good ground at Newbury. So Eldorado Allen at around 8 to 1 there for me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Stevens. Yeah, every time it's one of those horses. Every time he runs, you think give him a try at 3 miles. He might well be one of those horses that then runs at 3 miles, and you think drop him back in trip. But you do get those, don't you? But Graeme?
Yeah, I'm with Eldorado Allen.
Okay, so that's 3 for Eldorado. But Tom, you are going against us.
Well, I'm not necessarily going against you. I think Royal Pagai's a better horse, so I'll be with him. But I totally get the angle with Eldorado Ellen, and he's obviously a nice price.
Okay, very well. The Denman chase then tomorrow at Newbury, the 225, and a little bit later on the track. The track, we've got another fascinating Grade 2 contest with not necessarily a similar horse to the favourite in the last, but a horse who consistently runs at the top of his game in Grade 1 and Grade 2 company, but is potentially getting on a bit. In the shape of So Royal at 2-1. Hitman is 9-4. Funambule Civila is 5-2. Sky Pirate is 11-2. And as we said earlier, Editor de Geet is an absentee, which is a shame because he would have had a genuine chance. And he would also, Tom, which puts a bit of a spanner in the works here, he would have also been the only pace angle in the race. So as far as I can see, it's going to be four horses here, all challenging each other to be off the bridle last.
No, I think Funambule Civila will make the running, Ross, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think he stays further. We saw that in the Peterborough chase over 2.5 miles. There's no way Charlie Deutsch will be waiting around for the others to attack him late on. I think the others are definitely going to be held up. I think that gives Funambule Civila a big chance here. He's not got a penalty. Both Sky Pirate and So Royal have a penalty, £6 and £4 respectively, against Funambule Civila, who I think might have the best single piece of form anyway, because he was chased home Shishkin at Aintree, only beaten a length and a half. That is obviously top class chase form. I'm not sure any of the others could do that. Now, people might tell me that Shishkin was below par there, but the time was very good. I just think in this company, and given the fact that he's going to get the run of the race, I think Funambule Civila will be hard to peg back.
Okay, yeah, Funambule Civila, yeah. I mean, like I said, he's running to Shishkin. He's also running into First Far. I mean, again, if you think Eldorado Allen has got a chance in the last, then that first flow form must be good as well. So, and again, Venetia's another one. She could have a cracking day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, she's having a cracking day every Saturday, isn't she? Every time you look up, Venetia's having a great Saturday, and I'm all the more for it. Massive fan of Venetia's, always have been, and think both her horses tomorrow are going to take a hell of a lot of beating. Funambule Civila and Royal Pagai at Newbury.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, Brave Shashka at Warwick, so she could have a Grade 2 treble potentially tomorrow.
No, don't worry about that one at Warwick, Ross.
Well, I'll have that one then. I'll have that one. You can have the other two. How's that sound?
This is a really muddling race, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got So Raw. I think is a little bit more reliable than Clan.
Mm-hmm.
He runs to a high level. He's a better chaser than he is hurdler, I think, and he's well suited by these sort of muddling small fields. He travels well. He's got a decent turn of foot, hasn't he? But yeah, he's old, isn't he?
He is old. He is old, Rogers. He is pretty old. Here's some numbers for you again. This is his 31st run in Class 1 company. The rest of the field have only got 12 combined. So that's how old he is. That's how experienced he is.
Yeah, he knows his way around, doesn't he?
He does. Pretty much every track.
Yeah. Obviously Hitman was second to Green Team. Mm-hmm. He doesn't win many races though, does he, Hitman? He was second in the race. I think they thought that he would win, which was the Holden Gold Cup. Because Nichols has all these races set out, doesn't he, for each horse? And I thought that Hitman's race was the Holden Gold Cup, and he didn't do it. And then he ran really well against Green Team. I'm not sure that he's anything special. Funambule Civila, I thought fell in last time a little bit at Donny. He made quite hard work of winning, I thought, at a short price, but he won, I suppose, at the end of the day. I thought it was a very difficult race.
Is Sky Pirate out of this?
Well, maybe not.
I mean, ratings-wise, he's not.
There's only 4 in it, isn't there?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so no, I mean, he could win, couldn't he? I don't know who's going to win it.
Well, I mean, I'll just say Sky Pirate, he's run to an RPR of 161 in his last 4 starts, and I thought, well, that won't be good enough to win this race, will it? And then you look at every other horse in this race, and there's only Hitman that's bettered that in the past 5 or 6 starts for those for their last few.
But there's
runs,
a few in there who could better it, or at their very best. But yeah, I mean, if you were playing the place pot, you'd put them all in, wouldn't you? And go, we'll move on to the next. Yeah,
You've got to put all four in the play spot, Tom.
Play the play spot, stick Fernando de Civola and bank on it and go home and move on to the next race.
Oh, no. Schoolboy error. Got to put all four. It could be a right old payout tomorrow.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, well, imagine if that's the sort of thing, isn't it? Eldorado.
If Eldorado
and that thing goes in.
The Sky Pirate going, yeah.
Well, it's all right for you, Ross, with your Edinburgh Fringe, paychecks. The rest of us can't afford to put four in a play spot.
How many? What do you think my stake per line is? Just do 10p's, Tom. Then treble up in the Betfair hurdle. It's fine. So you don't really know what wins.
I don't know what's going to win this. I'll probably bet Fernand Ball if I had to, but yeah.
No, that's fine. I mean, again, you don't have to bet in every race, Rodders.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, fair enough. But Tom does think Fernand Ball will win. Like I said, I couldn't. I probably would back Sky Pirate because I don't think he's a complete outsider of the four. David, do you have any sense to make of this contest?
It's really interesting, isn't it? Brave Shaska wins up at Warwick, then we've got to be on Sky Pirate in this race. So we've definitely got to have all four in the play spot. There's no question. I know Graeme, he struggled to find the right word here, but he is just old, so Royale. But I think he's a brilliant horse. The mix hurdling and chasing like he does, obviously won this race last year. And it would be very much betting with my heart rather than my head, so raw, because Tom made an obvious and a very, very strong case for Nambala Civola. But yeah, the old boy's so royal. I don't think the old ones are past it just yet, as this panel is hopefully proving.
Yeah, speak for yourselves. But the game spirit then to tomorrow.
Well, if you want an old boy on this panel, I can tell who he's talking about.
A few tips for this. Hugh Maston says best form is Fernand Ball second to Shishkin at Aintree. Hitman will win, says Max Megaways, apparently. Sky Pirate for a giggle, says Tom Leach. I think he's got a genuine form chance. I think you might be giggling all the way to the bank, Tom. Which would be quite a sight. Newbury 3:35 then is our next event. It is, of course, the feature race of the day, the Betfair hurdle. Betting-wise, anyway. We've only got the 14 lining up, but like I said, we've got plenty of unexposed 5- and 6-year-old novices and a few horses who are well handicapped on their best. And a few like Soaring Glory and 50 Ball who will maybe find this a little bit easier than what they've been racing in, which says quite a lot about the class they've been racing in this season. But it's Broomfield Berg at 4-1 at the top of the betting. JPR1 is 6-1, Soaring Glory 7s, Nappers Hill 8-1, Boots Hill 8-1, Jetoile is 10-1. I Like to Move It is 11-1, 50 Ball at 12-1, and it is bigger prices the rest. Tom Segal, you were teasing us earlier with a potential big price selection here in the Betfair hurdle. If it is I Like to Move It, I would like you to give us a rendition of the Out Here Brothers' 90s classic. But if it's not, please just fashion us with your selection here, please.
Well, funnily enough, it is. So if you just let me get the words. No, it's not I Like to Move It. Well, first of all, I would like to say that I think Soaring Glory is a class above these, and I think he's got a very good chance. But the other one I like is Gary Moore's horse, Royam Uni Nil Point, or how I used to remember it when I was growing up watching the Eurovision Song Contest. Royam Uni is a very, very interesting horse in this. 87, 88 rated flat horse. He's better on the flat than Gary Moore's 3 previous winners in this race. I have no doubt whatsoever that this has been his target all season long. And I think for the 20-25-1, he was going to go really well for a stable that just is mustard in this race. The last twice he's run against 2 horses that are much shorter in the betting with him, 2 Nicky Hendersons. But at Cheltenham he was unlucky. He got hampered 2 out over 2 miles and a furlong. On the ground was a bit softer than it will be tomorrow, and he still stayed on to be beaten about 3 lengths. He's £4 better off. Next time at Kempton, that was surely to tee it up for today. He found the ground way too soft and was third in a good race won by First Street. I just think everything is right for him tomorrow. He's son of Galileo. He's rated, I think, 90 odd on the flat. He won it just very similar to the other horses that Gary Moore has trained to win this race. And if anything, he's a bit better than them on what he's shown on the flat. I just think he's going to go well. I think everything's right for him. I don't think it's a strong race. I'm not in love with Broomfield Berg. I think JPR1's got plenty to prove. He's only been winning around Taunton and Exeter. Nappers Hill's an interesting horse because he won the Aintree bumper, but do we love him with the Nichols form? maybe not. Boot Hill got stuffed by Soaring Glory at Ascot. I think Soaring Glory is the class of the field. He might just be too good for them. But I do like Royam Uni because I just think everything's spot on. He will have been trained for the race, and he's trained by the bloke with the best record in the race. So they'd be my two, Soaring Glory and Royam Uni.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Royam Uni. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I mean, I've just had while you were saying that, I'm just going back it just while before the price gets any shorter, because I agree entirely. I think that Lively Citizen form is rock solid. So I think Broomfield Berg has a huge chance as well, Tom. Obviously, but price differential. But like I said, yeah, he just kept going and going in those handicaps, didn't he? And he was kind of in the wrong part of he was away from where the horses challenged at Cheltenham, and then last time out he wasn't necessarily in the best part of the track either. I agree with you. I get the feeling that he's been priming him for this race, so he's got to have a big chance. Royam Umi and Gary Moore as well. Gary Moore is, I think, 3 from 19 in the past 20 years. 3 winners from 19 runners. Nigel Twiston-Davies is the other one with a very good record. He has exactly the same record, 3 winners from 19 runners. So, there you go. Gary Moore, Royam Uni.
Yeah, when I saw that Tom had tipped him, it was quite interesting because I had him quite high up on some figures that I had, but it was on his flat form, not on his hurdles form. He's quite a good flat horse, isn't he, Royam? I hate it when everyone goes, oh, you've got to have a novice to win this race because novices have won it all the time. My first sort of thought is, well, I'll look for something that's not a novice and be a bit contrarian. But the more I looked at the race, the more I just kept coming down on novices.
Yeah. That's fine, yeah. Because that's the thing with betting. Sometimes you go out to prove yourself wrong, and you go, actually, I just think a novice is going to win this race. Yeah. But novices do well in it anyway, but I just think this year's novices are really good. I felt that for a while. Obviously, Constitution Hill, John Bond, and all the Henderson novices are all pretty good, I think. He's been pretty vocal about how good he thinks all of his novices are. And I love Constitution Hill. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a proper Grade 1 horse, and I really fancy Jetoile. Okay.
He'd be my main bet, really, because his form is very good in novice company, of course. 2 runs ago, he beat a horse called Scipion, who ran quite well behind Staghorn and Gentleman at Arms in the Leamington at Warwick.
Looks a thorough stay of that horse, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And was it Gentleman at Arms came out and ran really well behind L.A. Bell at Hunterdon, and I'm a huge fan of L.A. Bell. I think she's really good. So Gentleman at Arms went and bustled her out. I thought it was a good performance. So that gave me some sort of credence towards that piece of form. Then you look at his run last time out. Obviously, you've got to take Constitution Hill out and think, well, is he a superstar? I think he is. If he's not, then Jetoile can't win. But I think Constitution Hill is a superstar.
But of course, I mean, 13 lengths behind was the Gary Moore horse who bolted up last week by 20 lengths as well. 13
lengths behind was Shall We Have one more or whatever, the Gary Moore horse who won by a mile at Sandown. That form is solid. And it's just the more I looked at it, the more I just thought I've got to back this Jetoile because I was trying not to, but I couldn't help myself. Every time I looked at its form was just so solid. But obviously, having rated Constitution Hill, Henderson's got the line through Jetoile with Constitution Hill. If he's picking Broomfield Berg as his number 1 in this, from what I think is an embarrassment of riches in the novice division, I think you've got to have a saver on Broomfield Berg, and I have. But Jetoile is my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, he beat a horse called Brawson Silly in a bumper who's rated 130 now. I thought, I was a bit surprised by how good Broomfield Berg's time was at Kempton last time out. I thought, this will be one of those races where they canter home and it's not very good on the clock, and it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, he finished really fast, didn't he? It was a really fast finish. And of course, he's a bit like My Tent or Yours, isn't he? Who won this race? Like, he's a bit of a nutty puller in his early days, but I thought last time out at Kempton he settled a bit better and finished his race better as a result. And like a big field, if they're going to go fast, going to have Jetoile and all the other front runners up there. Yeah, I mean,
and also to be fair, if he does race keenly, kind of in second or third, Newbury's a perfect track for him.
Yeah, he's got an obvious chance, but he's 4-1 favourite. I mean, you can't do anything else but save on him. I think you got to be looking for a horse at a bigger price in this sort of race, and Jetoile's my one at a bigger price. But yeah, you've got to save on the Fav.
Okay, there we go. Like I said, it's
I don't like the Fav, Ross.
Sorry?
I don't like the Fav at all. I think he's a bit of a softie, old Broomfield Berg. I thought he's had 2 chances to win proper races when he's been in a battle. He's lost both of them. That Kempton race was a nothing race. I know the second came out and won afterwards, but I thought he was class above them. I'd be a bit worried about him in a tough race like the Betfair Hurdle. He'll have to win on the bridle, or he won't win at all. and I don't think you can win on the bridle.
Okay. I just thought when he was given £25 to Lively Citizen, and he came there travelling, and obviously, getting up the hill at Cheltenham over 2 mile one versus getting home over 2 miles at Newbury, I thought was a bit different. And like I said, it was the speed figure of Kempton last time. I was like, oh, you've done exactly the same time there, and so there is potentially a bit of improvement. I agree. Put it this way, I'll be laying him back in running at odds on, because he could be one of those soft ones. But David Stevens, quite the chat here then about the Betfair Hurdle. The headline's all about the small field, but like we keep saying, it's a cracking race.
Yeah, I think the last 4 or 5 minutes have just confirmed there might only be 14, but picking the winner is no easier. Tom's selection there, Royale Muni, has been back. No surprise, he's down to 16-1 currently. Graeme made the case there for Jetoile with that Constitution Hill form. And as he said, Nicky Henderson's going to have a line on all of these, given the strength of his novices. And that's where Broomfield Berg has to come into the equation. Plus, that time at Kempton was very, very good. Just a line on the Tizard horse, of course. I mean, they said this is not the sort of route they would normally go with their novice hurdlers. But the word Joe used to describe this horse was streetwise. And they said he sort of showed enough that from Christmas, this has been the plan for this horse, JPR1. He's just run the 3 times, 2 of them winning at Taunton last time. So unusual for the Tizards to come here, but they think they've got the right horse to do it with. And I'm a big fan of Soaring Glory against all these novices. Of course, won the race last year, ran against Epatante in the Christmas hurdle. Top weight here, but I still think sets a decent standard, albeit, as I say, there's a load of really exciting novices in here, and I think there'll be a bundle of winners come out of this race longer term.
Okay, yeah, it could be very interesting indeed. Soaring Glory, of course, he loves a big field, doesn't he? So he will relish this test. Fascinating Betfair Hurdle then. I'll get a couple of quick selections at home. Broomfield Berg will win this, says Off-World. Tom Leach says, good on you, Segal. He's on at 25-1 each way. And a few others, Henderson second string each way, of course. Yeah, First Street has a chance. So, and we've got a little price boost on the screen there, David.
Yes, of course. Involving Nicky Henderson, of course. I think's won this race 5 times overall. Broomfield Berg, and I'm just remind me of these other one. First Street was 11-4 Nicky to win this race. Is now out to 100-30.
Yeah, 5 times from 55 runners over the past 20 years for Nicky Henderson. Of course, the last time that there were only 14 runners and loads of races that 2 mile hurdlers could win was 1998, where Nicky Henderson did win it with an unexposed 6-year-old on its second handicap start off a mark in the low 130s, and that was Sharpical. So there you go. 1990, there's one for you.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Early
I just
days.
look it up. 2 more races to look up then at Newbury, 410 and 445. And we've got a novices hurdle here, which has been won by some nice horses over the past few years. And we've got some interesting flat recruits headed by King Ottokar at 15-8. Sonagino 4-1. Make My Day 9-2. Great Heart Shack is 6-1. Sir Title is 8-1. Saligo Bay 8. Jeremillo 10-1. And bigger prices the rest. If you went back a year, and this would be a flat race between Charlie Fellows, Roger Charlton, Roger Varian and Rafe Beckett. It's a very different contest tomorrow. Then. What did you like about it?
I really like one in this. It's called Great Heart Jack. I thought that the run last time out was an excellent run. He bustled up Mariko Devassi, who is running on Sunday against Stage Star in the listed race at Exeter. There was a hot pot of Nicky Henderson's, who was well backed in third, Royal something, that they must think quite a bit of. They were well clear the front 2. And the fourth was also I tipped in the race, called Raymond Tusk, who was rated 104 on the flat and had shown a bit of promise, finished second in decent novice at Newbury going into that race. He maybe was a little bit disappointing, but still gives you an idea of the strength of that form. Great Heart Jack would have been beaten easier by Mariko Devassi if Mariko Devassi had not made a bad mistake at the last. But I'm fairly certain that's the best form in this race. The worry is, of course, is that, as everyone always tells me, why do you even bother going against Nicky Henderson in these novice hurdles at Newbury? He just turns up and wins them. And last time I did this, I backed one of Gary Moore's called He Could Be the One. And Walking on Air turned up and just absolutely turned him away like he was standing still. And that was another Henderson horse. So we've already spoken about how strong he is in the novice division. He's obviously got King Ottokar, was a good flat horse, 93 rated on the flat. So it wouldn't surprise me if, I go and back Great Heart Jack and then see King Ottokar cruising all over me, just like Walking on Air did a couple of weeks ago. But on what we've seen so far on form, I think Great Heart Jack is right there and he's a good price.
Yeah, but like you said, yeah, Nicky Henderson did win this due to the Chancery House a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Graeme Rodway. Yeah, I think Great Heart will be in all the each ways tomorrow to at least pick up the place money. Plenty of interesting flat recruits though. Tom, did you like anything in this?
I didn't like King Ottakar one little bit. 100% would be against that. No form last year. Best at a mile. Doesn't look like a great sort of hurdling type to me on anything that he'd ever did over. Didn't look like the toughest horse on the flat. I'd be against him. I'm quite keen on Gary Moore's Make My Day. 95 rated is he on the flat? Won two of his last three last year, including one at York, one at Ayr on the up at the Western Meeting up there. Trained by Rafe Beckett. Then he's just a strong stayer. Won't mind the ground. As I say, this is a big day for Gary Moore. I think Make My Day could be a class above these. If he can jump at all, I definitely see him beating King Ottakar. Rodgers' horse I don't know enough about to know, but if he can jump at all, he'd be too classy for all of these, including that horse of yours, Rodgers. So I'm quite interested in him Make My Day, but the market will tell us because he hasn't jumped a hurdle yet.
Okay, Make My Day is 9-2. King Ottakar though 15-8. Yeah, he's always been tricky, hasn't he, King Ottakar? But he does remind, of course, Forgotten Voice is the horse that comes to mind. A few years ago, Tom was rated 100 plus in these silks. Went over hurdles, what seemed like a last resort, and ended up really talented. So
that's true. Yeah, but I don't like the look of King Ottakar. Not that much, no.
No, that's fair enough. Again, it's price, isn't it? 15-8.
Yeah.
David Stevens, we've got one more race to go, but anything interesting to add to this lot of interesting novice hurdles?
No, I think the chaps have come up with the forecast in this race. Great Heart, Jack, of the ones we've seen over hurdles. Shouldn't be too far away. And I agree with Tom about Make My Day. I think he's a fascinating recruit for a stable in good form in Gary Moore's. If he can jump, he's got his flat form, Make My Day. Don't like King Ottakar at all. He had a terrible last season on the flat. And look, of course, he could improve for hurdles for Nicky Henderson, but he's priced up on trainer reputation as much as anything.
Okay, there we go. One more race at Newbury then, the 4:45. It's a listed bumper. Again, that has been won by some good horses over the years. Authorised Speed 3-1 is a favourite. Rosie Redrum at 7-2. Hullenbach at 6-1. Time for a Tune 15-2. Top Dog also 15-2. Philanderer 9-1. Liberty Hunter 10-1. And Mamoon Star at 12-1. And just before Christmas, Rodders, we went for a pint, and you were telling me that you were having great success backing bumper horses who were quickening up off slowly run races. And I said, do you have anything in this? And my word, you've got a curveball out of the clouds.
I have, yeah. I've got one that's showing up on my bumper system at 47%. But yeah, it's 40-1.
No, do it. 40-1, that's what we want. We don't want a 6-4 shot. What is it?
Basford. For Jenny Canlish. Now,
Did you call me?
This one first time out at Carlisle, again, quickened up really well to win. Beat a couple of subsequent winners that day. And then last time out, I backed him on my bumper system, and he was one of the 53% that didn't win since I started running it. And he finished third, but he was carrying a £7 penalty for the win at Carlisle when he finished really fast. And as it turned out, I think that bumper that he got beaten at would be quite good. Dan Skelton horse won it. The second has won since. The sixth has won since. The fifth has been placed twice over hurdles since. He just can't be 40-1 on form, Basford. Now, I know he's trained by Jenny Canlish, and you've got a bunch of sexy trainers in this with horses that cost a lot of money. But on what they've done on the track, Basford isn't a 40-1 shot. So we're back to each way, haven't we, Ross?
Yeah, we have. We've had a little tickle at a big price. So Basford there for Rodway. Segal, I mean, you're going to have to go well to beat that one.
I think I can probably get that one beaten, boys. No problem. Top Dog for me. Top Dog. I thought he ran really well at Ascot. He was favourite to beat Henry II, is it? And Authorised Speed, Gary Moore's horse, who's gone out and won since. And he was a bit unlucky in the run. He flew home to finish third. I think he's got every chance of turning those tables here. Emma Lavelle's horses are running in very good form. And I thought the Top Dog at around 9 or 10-1 would be my selection in this race. 15-2. Look, I can't even read. 15-2 in this race would be my selection.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, Tom. Last race we're going to cover then, David Stevens. What have you got for us?
Basford there for Rodders is now 33-1, so a few people following you in on that one. Rosie Redrum for Milton Harris has been backed, also 92 and 7-2, but I think it could be a good day for the Sussex team of Gary Moore, and Authorised Speed I think can take this step up in grade in his stride. He looked good winning here last time, And yeah, I'm going the complete opposite end of the market to Rodders here with authorised speed.
Okay, there you go. 6 runners at Newbury tomorrow for Gary Moore. You could have a good afternoon. Thank you to everyone for watching at home. Not too many tips in the last. Max Megaways like to make my day in the previous race, and a couple of others as well. Shout out to Brian Walker, who says, Ross, when you're presenting In the Know at 6, followed by Country and Western Night at 8. I appreciate that comment. That was my favourite of the evening. But we will dolly part on our naps for the evening.
You see what he did there, boys? He's absolutely different class, this guy, isn't he?
With our best bets for the evening, then. At Newbury and Warwick on Saturday afternoon, starting off with the one and only Mr. Tom Segal. What is the best bet on Super Saturday?
I'm torn. I like Sussex Ranger, but the price has gone. So I think Soaring Glory's got a really massive chance of repeating his win in the Betfair Hurdle, and I'm throwing a few quid at Royal Muni as well. So Soaring Glory's the one I think that is really the one for tomorrow.
Okay, but you're having a kind of a Dutch nap then, is that it, in the Betfair Hurdle?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the thing was, I did Soaring Glory a few weeks ago when it was a big price anti-post, and people don't like, people saying, oh, you've already backed that one. So tomorrow, I wanted to throw in Royal Muni because he's just the type of horse that's going to run well tomorrow. But all things being equal, I think Soaring Glory's got a massive chance.
Okay, Graeme Rodway, nap of the day, please.
I like Get a Tonic, who runs in a 135 at Warwick, trained by Dan Skelton. Obviously, he had loads of winners there. Still a novice mare, finished third behind Hillcrest last time at Cheltenham. Travelled well in that race, don't think she got up the hill. She previously won 2 good races on flat tracks. I think the flat track will suit her. So Get a Tonic, 135, Warwick.
Okay, lovely stuff. Yeah, Dan Skelton could have a good day. I'm good at Nat Brave Sheshka in the Kingmaker, but I did think Camdonian in the opener at Warwick had a cracking chance. After a big run at Chepstow.
He always wins the first race at Warwick when they race there. Dan Skelton, that's what they say.
In that race in particular, he's had past 4 years, he's had 2 winners, a second, and a 40-1 shot. He was well beaten. But yeah, so Brave Sheshka, but keep an eye on Camdoni, and Dan Skelton could have a good day. David Stevens, the naps are all over the place today, but why not throw a few in? Do you fancy anything?
I'm going to stick with Newbury and that bumper horse authorised speed for the Moors, but nothing will top tonight's moment when Graeme was just so surprised that Samuel Drinkwater could possibly train the Brimming Water. Priceless, Rodders. Absolutely priceless.
It's almost on a par with the time that I called Sam England the man. That didn't go down too well either.
Well, why not repeat it? Yeah, bring it back.
Samantha England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but,
we're digressing.
Before we go, how grand will the soft be?
Yes, I think it'll be quite soft.
It will probably
according
be
to
soft.
Tom, anyway.
There you go. Different gravy is Graeme Rodway, absolutely. Thank you, Tom Segal. I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, see you, Ross. Changing your shirt, or are we having another check special for Monday?
We'll see what we can rustle up. I might put this in the wash with the rest of them, and they'll all look the same. So we'll see how it goes. Graeme Rodway, I'll see you.
Yeah, I'm back Monday as well.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah, so we're renewing our partnership.
Yeah. I don't know what the last word was going to be, but David Stevens, when will we see your face again?
Yes, I shall be here Monday as well, and I should dig out a check shirt for the occasion.
Oh, please do. There we go. Lovely stuff. We can form some sort of barbershop quartet. So join us for that then. In the Know, we'll be back on Monday. We'll be looking at, I'm pretty sure, the Champion Chase. I think the Arkle and the Supreme Novices, I think. And we'll be joined by Harry Derham as well. So it'll be a fantastic night on Monday as we gear up for Cheltenham. Enjoy Warwick and Newbury on Saturday. Thank you to everyone who's been watching tonight. Like and subscribe to the stream. Please gamble responsibly, and remember to drink water. Good night.